Hello again, it's Steve Grizzetti, co-founder of MoviePix.com and author of the MoviePix.com Guide to Photoshop Elements and Premiere Elements together. And here we are in part 2 of our tutorial in which we're going to take a selected image, this baby, and we're going to cut him out and paste him into this background, this swimming pool. Now, before I actually cut and paste, and I could do that, of course, just by going to the edit menu and selecting cut and paste, I want to show you a little trick. Whenever I do a cut from one photograph to another photograph, I never actually just cut, because then you don't really allow yourself any opportunity to undo your work or to refine your work after the cut has happened. Do this instead. Once we've got our selection made, go to the select menu and select Refine Edge, and we use this Refine Edge tool here to select here in part 1 some of these curls. But rather than output to a selection here, I want to select output to a new layer with a layer mask. So let's go ahead and select that and click OK. And you see what's happened here on the layers panel. We've still got our background. It's disabled right now. That's why we don't see it. But it appears that the baby is here with a transparent background. What's actually happened is that the baby is here on the stairs. The entire photo is there, but there is a mask, and that's what this part of the layer is. There's a mask there, and whatever is black in the mask is invisible. Whatever is white in the mask becomes visible. So if I've got like this selection here on this baby's arm, and I want to eliminate it, rather than cut that off, I'm just going to mask it. I'm going to hide it. So I'm selecting, again, watch this, not the layer itself, but I'm selecting the layer mask. And then I go over here to my colors and I set my color palette to black, and I just use a black paintbrush, and then I'm just going to paint across here. And you notice when I paint along the baby's arm, it seems to have removed part of the selection. We'll do it over here also. What it's actually done though is that I painted more mask around it. So the mask is making it look like there's transparency here. Actually, everything is here, but it's just transparent. Or it's masked or hidden. All right, now I want to move this layer over to my swimming pool. And there are a number of ways I could do that. The way I like to do it is go down here to the layout button at the bottom of the program and select a layout in which I can see both pictures, like for instance all column. Now I can see both pictures. I'm just going to drag the layer here from the picture of the baby right onto the swimming pool. And if I go back to the layout here where I only see one picture at a time, and that's a swimming pool, there is our selected baby. There he is. I'm going to move him down like this so he looks a little more natural in the picture. And once again, if I need to refine this at all, I'm just going to zoom in by Control plus or Control minus to zoom out and get really close up in here. And if there's anything I want to change, I can change that by painting the mask. Because nothing has actually been removed, I can actually select the mask here and change the color to white and use this paintbrush and actually add anything from the original picture simply by painting over the mask in white. Isn't that cool? I'm going to Control Z or Command Z to eliminate that. But it's all still there. It's just masked or invisible. So we've got a really nice picture here. And again, we could clean it and refine it as much as we want. The only thing I want to do to refine this picture is kind of change the color temperature. This baby's picture was taken under incandescent lights. It was taken indoors. So it's got a little bit of a reddish tint to it. You may not even notice it unless you're really got a keen eye for this kind of stuff. The swimming pool, on the other hand, under a bright blue sky is a little bit more bluish. So I'll show you there's an easy way here to just kind of change the tint a little. But let's first make sure we're selecting the layer itself and not the layer mask. In order to do that, I need to select a different layer and then come back to my layer. And now I've got the image itself selected, not the mask. That's real important. And then I'm going over to the Enhance menu and I'm going to select Adjust Lighting Levels. And here in levels, I can work with red, green, and blue, or all three channels together. I'm going to set this to blue because I just want to increase the blue values just a little bit in the baby. And I'm going to drag the center indicator here. And if I just bring that down a little bit, now that was a very subtle shift. Do you see that? The difference between Here's what it looks like before. See how orangey he seems to be? And here's how it looks after I make the adjustment. And now he looks much more natural in that warmer color temperature. In the blue background, he looks a little bit more bluish too. Now this is one way to do a cut and paste of a person or an object from one picture into another. In part 3 of our tutorial, we're going to use a tool that's built into Photoshop Elements as a guided edit. It's one of the photo merge guided edits. We're going to use that tool to perform this same exercise, and it's up to you. You can either do it the manual way as I've done here, or you can use the new tool and you should get pretty much the same results. Entirely up to you. But we'll look at that in part 3 of cutting and pasting here from Photoshop Elements one photo to another.